Awesome. So now it's recording. Just to give you a heads up, you can rewatch this class anytime, 24/7 at slmtraining.com. Alright, but the first thing we'll need to do to start is to open up whatever web browser you want to utilize, and we'll need to go to mykw.kw.com. Alright, so mykw.kw.com. Alright, now once we go on here, then we're going to hover over Technology in the black bar. Alright, we're going to go to KW Websites, that fourth one down. Alright, so this is just kind of a basic overview of how to access the back end of your Placester site. So as of November 16th, alright, this is how you can access that Placester site. Alright. I wanted to give you guys a couple seconds because I don't know if you're already signed into your MyKW account either. Alright, but once we click on KW Websites on here, alright, so as you can see, your KW Agent website. Alright, they changed this up just a little bit in case you haven't logged in recently. Alright, and then once I go on here, I'm going to click the Go to My Website option. Alright, and this is going to take us right to the back end of our website. Alright, if it comes up with this, it does this randomly, just relog back in. I hope it stops doing that. Alright, so once again, this is how we can access the back end of our Placester website. Alright, so with that being said on here, alright, what we'll then need to do is click the Edit Site option so we can get to the back end of our Placester website again. Alright, so obviously you might already know some of this on here, and that's perfect. Alright, but once we click that Edit Site option, alright, then this is how we can access the back end of our Placester site to update it even further. Now, our Placester 101 class featured, well, pretty much the only thing it featured was the site settings, alright, and how to set up the basic website on here. Alright, so if we scroll down a little bit further, this is where you can go through if you want to update your IDX, if you want to update the listings that are displaying on your site, if you want to update any of the design options on here. Alright, but if we scroll to the very, very bottom, alright, three things I want to chat about real quick. And we're not going to go over it too much, because I'm actually going to send you over some links that you can fill out, alright, in order for us to get this set up for you. Alright, so first thing we're going to take a look at on here is the custom domain. Alright, if you happen to have a custom domain, I would highly suggest utilizing this. Alright, having a custom domain on your website is going to be one of the best things that you can have for your branding, and also just in general, for your site. Alright, because at the end of the day, much like you've probably seen with the eEdge website, that ends in more than likely .kwrealty.com. Alright, whereas, alright, with this site, it's going to end in .kw.com. Alright, so if you have to go through and tell all of your clients and all of your, potential websites that you have out there with any of those URLs, alright, then you have to go through and update everything and say, here's my new URL. Alright, that can get a little sticky. So having one specific URL that you're going to utilize for your business will be the best thing. Alright, I just sent over inside our little chat section a link that you can click on, and if you happen to purchase a custom domain, then we can actually move this over to your website for you. Now, if you don't happen to have a custom domain quite yet and you do want to get one, let me send this over to you as well. There is a link where you can go on to GoDaddy. I'm going to send this over in our chat section. Alright, you can go to GoDaddy and you can actually get a domain for 99 cents for the first year. Alright, so instead of the typical, $14.99 or $15.99, whatever it might be. It used to be $9.99 back in the day. Alright, but I think it's $14.99 now. It'll be 99 cents. Alright. So this is where you can actually go through and set up a custom domain on here, and obviously this is something we can help you out with as well. Alright, now with that being said, alright, the next thing that we can also take a look at is right below here. Alright, it's going to be site tracking. Alright, and for site tracking, this is where you can set up Google Analytics. Alright, now this is completely free to set up. Alright, and Google Analytics is actually free to utilize as well, and I'm going to send you over another link on here where you can fill it out, where we can actually set this up for you too. I'm having to think about what the link is before I type it out. Alright, now on here, Google Analytics is obviously the big one you'll probably want to utilize. All right, and the good part about it is that you can actually see who's coming over to your website. All right, you can see what pages they're going to. All right, you can see what pages they're leaving from. You can see where they're coming from. What device are they using? All right, so there's a bunch of different options that you can actually utilize on here. And that's the good part about it, so you can actually start to market even better. All right, so if you do want that set up, I just sent that over to you. All right, so feel free to just fill out that form. We can get everything set up for you. All right, and then the last item down here, all right, is going to be for site verification. All right, and on site verification, all right, this is where you can actually set up Google Webmaster Tools, or as they call it now, Google Search Console. All right, you can go through, you can also set up Bing Webmaster Tools, Pinterest verification. There's one more on here. I always forget it, though. Okay, and then Google+. I don't know why I forget that. All right, they don't have Facebook or anything on here, Facebook Pixel quite yet, unfortunately. All right, but the big one that you'll probably want to set up would be the Google Webmaster Tools. All right. So in this case, if you do want that set up, I'm going to send this over to you real quick. All right, so feel free just to fill out that short form and then we can get that set up for you as well. All right, so I just want to go over some of these different items on here, all right, where we can actually just set all this up for you. All right, so that's the only reason I want to talk about these real quick, is just to let you know these are actually free services that we'll provide for you too. All right, so to actually get into our class now we've gone over, these are some of the different items on here. All right, let's scroll all the way up. All right, and we're pretty much going to go through all 5 of these items on here. All right, so the first thing we're going to take a look at is the Pages option. All right, so let's go and click on that Pages option up here, and this is how you can actually add new pages over to your website. All right, so once I click on the Pages option on here, then I can actually see all the different pages that are currently set up. All right, so if I want to go through, maybe I want to edit my About page, add inside some more information about myself or my team. Maybe want to edit the listing search page. All right, whatever it might be, you're definitely more than welcome to. All right, but let's go and click the plus sign on here just so we can actually see how to add inside a brand new page. All right, because once I click that plus sign on here, all right, as you can see, setting of a page is relatively simple. Now, one thing to note, if you happen to have a custom domain already set up, it's still going to say your .kw.com domain on here. I just want to give you a heads up on that one. All right, so it'll automatically say that even if you already have a custom domain set up. All right, but this should just give you an idea as to what the slug URL would be. Now, when you're setting up a custom page, you do have a couple options on here. All right, and once we click on the template option, then we can see all the different templates that are currently available for us to utilize. All right, now the main one you're probably going to want to use is the default page template. That is just kind of the stock page template in that case. All right, now there's also one, obviously, for the About page. All right, for the About page, that's pretty much just going to be much like we had set up before, just for your actual About page. All right, if you're setting up any agents, that we'll do in a second, there's an agents index for the page. Same thing for the areas index, if you set up any areas on here. For blog posts, comes straight up here from the blog post. All right, client profile, there's another contact page you can create, listing search page like we saw previously. If you're trying to do testimonials, all right, they have testimonials option on here too. If you want to feature any listings, that'll display over from the site settings section, all right, under featured listings, then you're definitely able to do that as well. All right, or there's an RSS feed as well. All right, so I'm going to leave it as default page template, but you're definitely more than welcome to go through and update whatever you want to. All right, obviously the best way to go through and kind of take a look at everything and to learn more about this is just to play around. All right, that's the best thing you can do. All right, so for the page title, you can title it whatever you want to, but once I title this, our slug URL will start to change. So I'm going to put this in as test class 11/16. And as you can see, our slug URL has changed up here. Alright, so whatever we put inside, then that'll automatically be our slug URL. Alright, and of course then we can add inside whatever page content we want to. Now we don't have any JavaScript or CSS options, unfortunately. Alright, down here there is an option where, as you can see, there's HTML. So if you want to add inside some HTML on here, alright, you're definitely more than welcome to. Alright, if not, then we do have a few formatting options, or you can bold, italicize, underline, you can bullet or number. Alright, and then any of your text you can also add inside a hyperlink if you want to take them over to a different website. Alright, or in addition to that, you also have the option of adding inside an image or a video. Alright, now the cool part about this is, if you are going to add inside a video, alright, so I just clicked on that. As you can see, I can now add inside my embed code, or I can add inside a YouTube or Vimeo link. Alright, so completely up to you in this case. Alright, so if you happen to have a YouTube video that you're creating on your YouTube channel, alright, then you can add this over right away. Alright, but feel free to add inside whatever you want to just to play around. So I'm going to put inside, hello, this is my test page. Put the class on, did I say 11? Yeah, 11/16. I thought I put 10 for a second. Alright, and then of course on here, if I wanted to hyperlink anything, maybe I wanted to hyperlink class on 11/16, I just highlight it, click the hyperlink button, and I can change that out. Alright, so say if I click on this, then there's the insert link button that I can go through. Alright, so if I click on insert link, for instance, I can type inside whatever I want to. Now, the good part about this is there is an option down here that says open link in new tab. Now, if you're ever going to add inside a hyperlink on here, I would highly suggest doing the open link in new tab option. Alright, and the reason for that is because then whenever they click on that link, it'll open up a new tab. So if they ever click out of that tab, your website will still be open. Alright, and that's what you always want. So anytime you ever have this option on here, I would highly suggest utilizing that. Alright, so once I click the insert button, then that'll automatically insert for me. Alright, or of course, then you can just click on the pay or upload image option to add inside a brand new image too. Alright, so if I click on that, then as you can see, I can choose a file, or I can even drag and drop, and you'll be all good to go. Alright, so if I click on choose file, I don't know what images I have on here. Do I have any downloaded? I've got a logo, there we go. Alright, so I can select whatever image I want to, and then it'll add right inside. Unfortunately, the image that I added was it's a white logo, so you're not even going to be able to see it on here. So I apologize about that. That is not what I meant to add in. Alright, but that is an option in this case. Alright, but I'm going to delete that real quick. And then, of course, at the bottom of each page that you ever create, and we're going to see this multiple times, alright, but at the very bottom down here, there's going to be an option for your SEO for meta title and meta description. Alright, now, a lot of people always ask, for meta title and meta description, what should I add on here? Alright, so your meta title is going to be approximately 55 characters or less. Alright, and a character is anything that's going to take up an entire space. Alright, so in this case, maybe I just want to put inside, I'm just going to copy what I have for my page title and put it down as my meta title. Alright, and then the meta description is going to be a short description. Alright, that'll talk a little bit further about what this page is about. All right, so just to give you a heads up. All right. Now, one thing I usually suggest, though, if you're ever getting a little bit of, writer's block or anything, go to google.com. All right, and then whatever your page is going to be about, let's say mine was going to be about Orlando real estate. All right, then feel free to type that inside. All right, and then once you do that, as you can see right over here, all right, so Zillow is one of the first one that comes up below the ads, obviously. All right, but here's their meta title, Orlando Real Estate - Orlando, Florida Homes for Sale. All right, here's the URL it'll take us to. And then here is their meta description. All right, so it currently says Zillow has 4,384 homes for sale in Orlando. All right, view listing photos, review sales history, and use our detailed real estate filters to find the perfect place. All right, so there are a couple different options you can take a look at on here. All right, so I always suggest just going over to Google and see what other people are putting inside to get yourself an idea as to what you might want to add in. All right, because it's very easy to get writer's block on this. All right, so in this case, maybe I want to come back up here. I'll put in learn about the Placester website with Scott Leroy from his test. Sorry. Can I spell test right? There you go. Class on 11/16. All right, and this has to be 155 characters or less. All right, just to give you a heads up. All right, so 155 or less. All right, and once you're completed with that page, just go and click the Save option. That'll automatically save it for you. All right, so it's that simple to go through and make a page. Now, I'd highly suggest going through and making different pages, obviously whatever you want it to be about. All right, or if you happen to have pages on your current website and you're trying to move them over to this site, all right, just go through, copy, paste. All right, and then whenever you go back over to your old website, then once you deactivate it, that'll be gone for good. All right, because obviously you do want to have unique content on your website. All right, but if you already have some unique content on your current website and you want to move that over, you're definitely more than welcome to. All right, but as you can see, once I click the Save button, it says this page was added as the last item in your menu. Would you like to edit the menu label or order? All right, so if you do want to go through and update the menu that'll display at the top of your website, you're definitely more than welcome to by clicking Edit Menu. I'm going to go and click the Close button on here, though, just to close this out real quick. All right, but one thing that I may highly suggest, we're going to do one more page real quick. In fact, we're actually going to do a good amount of pages today. But I want to do one more page real quick. I'm going to click the plus sign next to pages. And as you can see, we currently have 5 pages now. All right, because now we have that test class one I just created. All right, so once I click that plus sign on here, one that I'd highly suggest creating is I'd go on here under page content. All right, and right under the template section, I would go down to where it says featured listings page. All right, because whatever listings that you have featured over inside your site settings, all right, they can display on your site as well. All right, they can have their own page. So I'm just going to put on here featured listings. And as you can see, there's no place to put inside content because it's just going to pull over all the listings for us. All right, and then it automatically pulls up that same meta title on here, but I'm going to put inside SLM featured listings. View featured listings from around the area. I'll put Central Florida. That's where I am. Area with. I'll just leave it as that for the time being. Sorry, now it's search for your next dream home. Here we go. I like to give them a little bit more. All right, but I'd put inside that featured listings page on here so that your listings will automatically populate. Alright, so I'm going to click that Save option down here, and it's going to ask us once again if we want to update the menu. Alright, so once I click Save, as you can see, this page has been added as the last item in your menu. Do you want to edit it? Alright, in most cases you probably would want to. Alright, but on here I'm just going to click the Close button. We'll take a look at this at the very, very end as to what we've gone through and updated. Alright, so we're actually going to be coming back to that Pages section very shortly, just to give you a heads up. Alright, so the goal today obviously is to show you this is where you can access everything to go through and update it even further. Alright, because obviously we could spend an entire hour just talking about the Pages section and creating new pages, but I want to make sure that you guys are able to go through and play around with everything on here. Alright, so the next thing we're going to take a look at are the blog posts. Alright, now the blog posts on here are very crucial in my opinion, because this is where you can go through and create your own blogs. The biggest question we always get is, I see that Placester gave us 4 blogs, when are they going to update them? Alright, and the answer to that question is they aren't. Alright, those are just stock blogs that they currently have. Alright, and that is pretty much it. Alright, they don't have anything else outside of that right now. So in this case, you'll actually have to go through and update and create your own blogs. Alright, so once I click on blog post on here, alright, as you can see, here's my last test blog that I did. I'm going to remove that real quick. Alright, as you can see, I currently have 4 blogs, and these are more than likely the same ones that you guys have. Alright, so just to give you a heads up. Alright, so if you want to go through and edit any of these stock blogs that they gave to you, you're definitely more than welcome to. What I may highly suggest, though, just to give you a heads up, alright, is once you start to create new blogs, I would start to remove these old ones. Alright, and the reason I suggest doing that is because you definitely want to have unique content on your website. Alright, these old blogs on here, every agent is going to have them. Now, I have not seen any Placester websites outside of the KW ones, but I know at least every KW agent is going to have these stock blogs on here. Alright, so in theory, if no KW agents delete these blogs, alright, then you're going to have the exact same content as 150,000 plus other people. Alright, so I'd probably want to get rid of these as soon as possible. Alright, so whenever you create a new blog, though, then I would delete one and slowly go around that way. Alright, but once I click that plus sign on here, I'll always click the plus sign to create something new. Alright. Alright, once we do that, then as you can see, much like we had over on our pages section, alright, so you can put inside whatever title you want to. So I'm going to put test blog 11/16. Alright, and as you can see right over here, here's our new slug URL. Alright, so it says scottleroy.com/test/blog-11/16. Alright, but once again, remember if you have a custom domain, alright, take out whatever it says right here and put inside your custom domain if it's linked up properly. Alright, and of course, much like we saw all over inside our pages section, that you can come through here and you can add inside whatever content you'd like as well. Alright, so I'm just going to put inside test blog again. Alright, this can be pretty much the exact same ways that we just saw all over on our page where we can actually add inside our content. So I'm going to put test blog from the 11/16 class by Scott Leroy. Alright, now typically on a blog you want it to be at the bare minimum. Alright, bare minimum. Probably 300 words. Alright, I would say 600 would be a good thing to shoot for. Alright, 600 to 1200 would be fantastic, but 300 is the bare minimum. Alright, and usually if you're trying to rank for a specific keyword, you can add that keyword into your text about 1 to 3% of the time. Alright, I usually go on the more conservative 1% of the time. Alright, but if you want to, you could put your keyword over inside the title, obviously. If you happen to have a header, you can add that in on here too. All right, completely up to you. All right, but I just want to show you this is where you can go inside. But the other big question we always get is, how much should we write on our blog, or how often should we write? All right, and the answer to how often should you write is as often as you can. All right, at the end of the day, if you're writing one blog a week, that's still better than none. All right, if you're able to write 3 blogs a week, that is ideal. All right, that's phenomenal. If you can write 5 blogs a week, that is fantastic. If you can write a blog a day, that's really good. All right, because at the end of the day, these blogs are going to go out to the search engine. All right, it's going to potentially bring people back over to your website. All right, for them to then view your site. All right, we want people coming back onto our site. We want to get leads from it. And the good part about blogging is it's all organic traffic. You're not having to pay for anything. All right, so that's the best part. And unlike having to do, pay-per-click or anything of that sort, once you create a blog, it's there forever. All right, so it could be a year later and someone contacts you because they landed on that blog page. You never know. All right, so blogging is one of the best investments you can ever make. I know people hate to write, and that's completely understandable. All right, I know it's not the most fun thing in the world, but it will help you out tremendously. And what I usually suggest if you ever get writer's block, all right, search on Google. Zillow blog, Trulia blog, KCM blog, Realtor.com blog. Take a look at what they're writing. All right, pull up one of their blogs and say, this is great content. Now, don't copy it. Never copy it. A, that's plagiarism, and B, not two, but B, all right, you also don't want to have the same content on your website because that's going to hinder your SEO. All right, but get an idea as to what they're writing about and then write about something similar. All right, now the cool part about it is you're also going to have a blog page on here, and before they even click on your blog, all right, they can actually see a small excerpt of it. All right, so as you can see, the excerpt is typically a shortened version of the post and will appear anytime a visitor is previewing the post before clicking through. So I'm going to put here is the excerpt. There you go. All right, and then of course you probably want to put inside a featured image on here too. All right, so then you can choose whatever file you want to. Let me see if I can find a picture that's not a white. Let's see, you can see the white logo, but it's all see-through. Let me see what pictures I have. Here's my website. All right, here's our old banner. I will add that in just to see what it'll look like. There we go. All right, and then once again, you guys are probably very used to it. Meta title and meta description. All right, so for each blog, you also need to add inside a meta title and meta description. Now for the title, if you want to go ahead and utilize the same title that you have on your blog, feel free to. All right, and then of course for meta description, once again, 155 characters or less. All right, and that should fix everything up for you. Alright, so I'm just going to put inside something on here. And once again, test blog 1116. I'm just going to add that in. Alright, but let's go and click that save option on here. Alright. Now the cool part is once I click that save button, as you can see, now we have 5 posts on here, including that test blog that I just created. Alright, so inevitably, 4 posts are typically going to display over on the home page. Alright, so 4 posts will actually display out on the home page. Alright, so then I might want to go through and just remove one of these, so that way I can have my new blog on there too. Alright, so it's that simple to go through and write a blog on here. And of course, if you want to, you can also go through and you can add inside a video blog if you want to. As you saw, you could add it inside from YouTube. You can write content from that, or you can add inside the other images on there too if you just want to add inside an image for the blog. All right, whatever you would prefer. All right. So the next thing we're going to take a look at now are the agents. All right, we're going to take a look at that agents page on here. All right, so in case you're on a team, or maybe you happen to have a partner and you want to feature an agent on here, all right, there is a page that's purely just for agents. All right, this is a little bit more for teams, as I like to tell them. All right, because this way you can start to feature people. All right, now if you're just a single agent right now, it's still good to know how you can set everything up in case you happen to add on some team members later on or partner with someone. All right, because the About page at the end of the day is typically just going to be like that. It's going to be an About page. But this Agents page is fantastic because you can actually go through and feature all the different agents that are on your team. All right, so I'm going to click on that Agents page real quick. All right, once we do that, as you can see, this is from my class I did a couple weeks back. I was wondering, why is there a drunk monkey on here? They were really excited about that from Bold. I forgot I even added that on here. That's so funny. All right, so on here we're actually going to see all of our different agents that we currently have. All right, so I deleted everything, so now I'm back to square one, obviously. All right, so in order to add an agent, once again, click that giant plus sign. All right, that'll always help you out. All right, and once we click on that plus sign, all right, then we can go through and add inside. I'm going to add a little bit of information on here for them. All right, so first thing first, you probably want to put inside their name. All right, whatever their name may be. So I'll put inside my name on here. All right, you can then put inside their description or their bio. All right, so in this particular case, I'm just going to put inside a kind of a test one right now. Scott Leroy bio. All right, obviously, hopefully you have something a little bit better than that. All right. Then, of course, you can add inside their agent MLS ID if you need to feature that too, or their office location. That's I'll put inside 123 Main Street, Orlando, Florida, 32801. Put inside their office phone number if you'd like to, their cell phone number. That's not my cell phone number, FYI. That's just one number off of the office one. Alright. In addition to that, you can also add inside their email address on here too. There are a bunch of different items that you can add in. Alright, so if I come through here, add inside my email real quick, my title. Alright, you can even see if this agent should be featured. You can add inside some of their social media profiles if you want to. Alright, so that way people can link up with them. Oh, put that in improperly. Alright, I just happen to know all these off the top of my head. I don't know if you guys will know all yours immediately. Alright, so you can add that in right away. Alright. And then, of course, down here there's also a section for the options. Once again, we're going to have an excerpt. So you can add inside a small excerpt about this agent if you'd like to. Alright, or of course you can leave it blank. Alright, completely up to you. Alright, so on here, I'm going to go and put inside Scott Leroy excerpt. Alright, and then of course where it says featured image, I would highly suggest putting inside an image of that person. Alright, so in this case, I'd highly suggest going through and adding inside a headshot. Alright, so once I click on the choose file option, alright, let's just say this is my headshot. I think I deleted mine as well. Alright, then you can add that in right away. All right, and then of course, once again, for meta title, all right, you can put inside whatever the meta title is going to be on here. And then you put inside a description on here too. I just put meet the team / Scott Leroy. The team of Scott Leroy. Jeez. Including Scott Leroy. Alright, that's so cheesy. I wouldn't suggest doing that. But that's just something that you could add inside. Alright, so once that's done, go and click the save option on here. Alright, now once we save that, and as you can see we now have an agent page for Scott Leroy on here, alright, you do have to make an actual agent page, right, in order for these to syndicate over. Alright, so there has to be a legitimate agent page in this case. Alright, so once we click the pages option on here, and if we scroll down, we'll want to click on that plus sign so we can add inside a brand new page just for our Meet the Team or whatever you'd like it to say. Alright, so once we do that, as you can see, it automatically is displaying our featured listings that we had previously. Alright, once we click that drop down on here, alright, here's the agents index, then all of our agents will come over immediately. Alright, and for the page title, I'm just going to put Meet the Team. And then, of course, you can actually see where you can only feature some agents if you want to. Alright, or in addition to that, you can go through, you can shuffle the order. But then on here, add this page to my menu. I'm definitely going to leave that as there. Alright, and of course, once again, every time you set up any page, you do have to add inside the meta information. Alright, I'm just going to add that in again real quick. Alright, but then that'll automatically bring over all the agents for you. Alright, so any agent you ever add under that agent section, it'll come over immediately. Alright, and of course, once again, it's going to ask if we want to move this around. Alright, so I'm going to click the close option on here real quick. Alright, now the next thing we're going to take a look at, obviously I'm hovering over it, is the testimonial section. Alright, now on the testimonials, alright, this is where you can add inside your manual testimonials. Alright, and if you happen to have them over on another website, just copy and paste them over. Alright, there's not a way right now for any clients to come directly onto your website and add in the testimonial. Alright, but in this particular case, you can add them in manually on here. So once I click on testimonials, good, I don't have any right now. I was hoping I'd reset it. Alright, but all you have to do, like we've been doing the whole time, is click that plus sign right on here to add inside a brand new testimonial. Alright, and once we click on that plus sign, alright, then you can title it whatever you want to. You can add inside the testimonial on here too. Alright, there are a bunch of different items that you can go through to update. Alright, so in some cases, people just want to put inside the title of the name of the person. That's the testimonial. Alright, if you want to. If not, I can put inside another home or happy home seller. I could add inside my testimonial on here. I cannot type today. I just need to give up. Alright, obviously for the referrer on here, that's the name of whoever's referring this testimonial to you. Alright, so I'll put inside Scott Leroy. The affiliation, if they're a buyer, seller, friend, family member, whatever it may be. Alright, so I'm going to put on here seller. Alright, you can even feature this testimonial if you want it to display, typically over on the home page. Alright, you can add inside an excerpt on here, so I'll put inside Scott Leroy excerpt, just to see what that'll look like. Alright, there is an option to feature an image on here. I would highly suggest putting inside an image of maybe them standing in front of their home, them at the closing, alright, or see if you're able to add inside an image of that person, alright, or if it's a professional one, see if they can send over a headshot for you to use. Alright, it's always nice to have that added on here. So once again, because I don't have my headshot on this computer, I'm just going to use my old banner. Alright, and then much like we've seen on every page, alright, you got to get used to it. That SEO meta title and meta description are going to be on here. Alright, so I'm just going to add inside, I'll put this, another happy home seller, Scott Leroy Marketing. Alright, and then for the description, I'm just going to copy it again for the time being. Alright. So once we click that save button on here, that's how simple it is to set up a testimonial. Alright, very, very simplistic. And that's the good part about it. It shouldn't be that hard to set it up. Alright, now the one bad part about it though, and I will tell you this, you do have to go through and you have to manually add all the testimonials, unfortunately. Alright, so that is one bad part that happens. Alright, so as you can see, another happy home seller. Alright, it's currently published. Now, much like we saw with the agents page, you do have to add inside a page on here as well. Alright, just for the testimonials. So we do have to go back to that pages section. Alright, so we're going to go back to the pages section real quick. And the good part about the agents page, the blog post page, the testimonials page, and then we'll see in a second the areas page, once you set up that page once, then you're done. You don't have to worry about it again. Alright, then you can just set up however many blogs you want, however many agents you want. Alright, so once I click that pages option, alright, then we'll click the plus sign on here. Oh, hold on. How'd the connection go down? We'll find out. Did it actually go down? Hold on one second. It says it's refreshing. Let me pause for a second. Alright, so what we're going to do is then click the plus sign of pages. Alright, and much like we've been doing this whole time, under the template section, alright, let's go through and we're going to find testimonials index. And once again, once we add this in once, then we're all good to go. Alright, and then on here you can put inside whatever you want as your page title. So I'm going to put SLM Reviews. Alright, so now if I scroll down once again, as you can see, here's the SEO. So maybe I'll put in SLM Reviews again. Alright, and then we're all good to go on here. Alright, so I'm going to click that save option down here. Then we're all saved. And once again, you can change that menu if you'd like to. Now, to give you an idea, let's go ahead and take a look real quick before we get into the area section, or I'll take a look on here. I'm just going to look at my website real quick, just to get an idea as to what we've been adding, so you know exactly what's going on. Because obviously this site is set up, in some way, shape, or form, with some of the different items that we've had previously. Alright, so obviously in the Placester 101 class, we get the basic setup. So on here, here's the page we created. Here's that featured listings page I was telling you about. Alright, here's our Meet the Team page, and then SLM reviews. So let's take a look. I'm going to open these up real quick, just so we can look at them real fast. Alright, so here's that test class 1116 page that I created. So hello, this is my test page for class on 11/16. If I click on that, then it'll take me over to Scott Leroy Marketing, right? Because I hyperlinked it. Alright, under the featured listings, then we also happen to have, I don't have any featured listings set up on here, but if I did, then all the featured listings would display for me right away. Alright, then we have the Meet the Team page that we put under the Agents section. Alright, so here's the one for Scott Leroy. Here's their cell. Here's their office phone. Here's how they can email them. They can go to About Me to learn more about them. I can click on this as well to learn more about them. Alright, here's the excerpt that'll pop up to you. Alright, so a bunch of different options will come up. Alright, and then finally we have that SLM reviews page that we just set up. Alright, it's another happy home seller. That's the one we just created. Scott Leroy excerpt. Alright, here's the image. Here's the name of the referrer. Alright, then we can click on more to actually view that entire testimonial as well. Alright, so just to give you a heads up. Alright, so I wanted to just show you kind of what we've been adding on here and how we can kind of take it to the next level. Alright, now the last thing we're going to take a look at real quick are the areas page. Alright, so if you want to kind of feature yourself as a main expert of a certain area, alright, you're definitely more than welcome to. Alright, so let's go and click on that area page real quick. Alright, and that's actually the one I'm going to create. Alright, so all we'll need to do in order to create a brand new page is to click the plus sign on here. Alright, and once we click that plus sign, alright, then we can go through and start creating this immediately. Alright, and the good thing about Placester is they'll give you some helpful tips on the right-hand side as well. Alright, so obviously the area page title I may highly suggest putting inside, whether it's going to be a neighborhood, whether it's going to be a city, whatever it might be on here. Alright, so I'm going to type inside Little Rock, for instance. Alright, once I type inside Little Rock, alright, then I can see the type of the area, whether it's a county, region, alright, local, postal, neighborhood. I'm going to go on local on here. Alright, then they're all in alphabetical order, so I'm just going to go through. Alright, and I'm going to search under the L's. And here's Little Rock. Alright, so once I click on that, Little Italy, alright, then we're good to go. And you can even feature this area as well. Alright, now the next parts that you're going to put on here are completely up to you, right, as to what you actually want to display. Alright, so as you can see, then we have a slideshow where we can add inside our own slideshow photos if you'd like to. And you have to 5 different ones on here. Alright, so it'll kind of slide in and out, much like we have over on our homepage. Alright, so we want to have different, images of the area. Alright, you're definitely more than welcome to on here. Alright, and this is the exact width and height that they would highly suggest it being, 1600 by 600. That's a slightly different than that homepage one. Alright, but then you are able to put inside different page content of whatever you want. The example that they have on here is it says safe neighborhood. Alright, then they have an image, and then there's just some body copy of it. Alright, then they have other ones that talk about affordable housing. Alright, some people like to put inside, on here for a headline, maybe up and coming school districts. Alright, you can put inside your own body copy on here. Here are a list may want to check out when you move to Little Rock. And then, of course, you can add inside your own image on here, too. Even further below, you can add inside a subheading as well if you'd like to. Alright, so in case you have anything else that you want to add inside, you're definitely more than welcome to. So maybe I want to put inside the subheading, I don't know, things to do. Alright, here is a list of things to do in Little Rock. Alright, you can also add inside half images if you want to display two different images next to each other, one on the left and one on the right. Alright, typically something about the area more than likely. Alright, they give you another section for another subheading that's going to go right below those images. Alright, so maybe the final one that you want to add inside, I don't know, local sports. And then I'm just going to put here as a list some of our local sports teams. Alright, obviously you can put inside whatever you want to. Alright, most people usually put inside in the first part, instead of putting up-and-coming school districts, I just put that on there. Usually they talk a little bit about the area. Alright, and then the second one on here, that's when they usually go a little bit more in depth on, you know, what you can do inside the area, or any big features that they might have in the area, and then the third one obviously is completely up to you as well. Alright, at the end of the day though, this is your area page, so you can make it look however you want to. Alright, so I'm going to add inside images on here. I'm just going to add in the same image over and over again so we can get an idea as to what it'll look like. Alright, and then much like we always see, there is an option for an excerpt on here. Alright, so if you do want to add inside an excerpt, you're definitely more than welcome to. Alright, so before they even click on it, they can read about it. And you can even feature an image on here too, but once again, much like we've always seen, there's always a section on here for SEO. Alright, so completely up to you in this case. Alright, so I'm going to click the Save option on here. Alright, once we click that Save button, as you can see, here's the new area. But once again, as I've been talking about this whole time, alright, always go back over to the Pages section and make sure that you immediately add inside an area page on here. Alright, so once we click that plus sign on here for the pages, and then you can add inside that first area page. So I think a question just came through. In case you guys ever ask any questions, make sure to send it out hopefully over to this chat if you just want to send it directly to us. Just because I can't read it on this screen that's being recorded right now, unfortunately. But I think a question came through on when are we going to have the Placester 101 class. So that happens every other Wednesday, and the next class will actually be next Wednesday on, geez, what is that, the 23rd, I think? Alright, or of course you can always rewatch those as well. Alright, anytime. And I was about to give you the wrong URL, slmtraining.com. Alright, but if I come through on here, say if I go to the template section, then I'll want to add inside the areas index. I'll put on here, I'll just put local areas. Alright, the good part about that is you can then put inside page content if you want to talk a little bit more about all these different areas. Alright, so completely up to you. You can even feature some of them as well. And then once again, much like we've always seen, there's also the SEO options on here too. Alright, so I'm just going to put on here local areas. Title this again, same thing for meta description. Click the save button. Alright, and then as you can see, it'll automatically add it to our menu, so we can go through and update that as well if we'd like to. Alright, so I'm going to click that close button on here, and there you go. Alright, so that's how you can go through and what you should do on all the different pages, blog posts, agents, testimonials, areas. And of course, next Wednesday, we're also going to have our 101 class in case you just want the basics of how to set everything up. Alright, so that's just kind of how to utilize the back end even more and what you should be doing right now to increase your Placester website even further. Alright, so I just want to show you this is where you need to go in order to take it to the next level. Alright, so at the end of each class, I always like to end with this. Alright, it's all of our support numbers that you might want to jot down. Alright, so on here we happen to have KW support, eEdge or Market Leader support, alright, .loop support, Placester support. Alright, we have our support email address for our own company. Alright, we have the website for our 3-hour MyKW Academy class. Alright, the website for our advanced training classes, including this one. Alright, then the website for all of our tips as well that we create each week on the platform. Alright, so I'm going to leave this up a little bit longer so you guys can jot it down. I think this is very helpful from what I found out before. People seem to like this. Alright, so in this case, I'd highly suggest jotting these down because I think it'll help you out tremendously. Alright, and thank you so much for coming on today. This class is being recorded, so it is going to be available a little bit later today for you. Alright, but if you guys ever have any questions, please feel free to contact at any time. We're here to help you out. Alright, and I hope to see you guys at our next class. We're going to have a class this Friday on Facebook, actually, and how to utilize it. And of course, that'll be recorded, too, in case you can't make it. And that class is the same location, eEdgeacademy.com, from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Alright, well, I will see you guys at the next class. Have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you guys on Friday.